Organization of human body, tissue and cavities. The human body is organized into different levels of structural organization, from the smallest to the largest, which are chemical level, the smallest level of organization, which includes atoms and molecules. The chemical level is the smallest level of organization in the human body and it includes atoms and molecules. Atoms are the basic units of matter and they are made up of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Molecules are formed when two or more atoms are chemically bonded together. Chemical reactions between molecules are responsible for the body's metabolism, which includes processes like digestion and cellular respiration. All biological processes are ultimately based on chemical interactions at the atomic and molecular level. Cellular level, the next level of organization, which includes cells, the basic unit of life. The cellular level is the next level of organization in the human body and it includes cells, which are considered the basic unit of life. Cells are specialized structures that perform specific functions and they are responsible for the body's growth, repair, and maintenance. Different types of cells have different structures and functions, such as nerve cells, muscle cells, and blood cells. Despite their differences, all cells share common characteristics such as the presence of a plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and genetic material, either DNA or RNA. The cellular level is where the organization of living organisms becomes more complex, as cells can work together to form tissues, organs, and organ systems. Tissue level, cells that work together to perform a specific function form tissues. The tissue level is the next level of organization in the human body, where cells that work together to perform a specific function form tissues. There are four primary types of tissues in the human body: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Each type of tissue has unique characteristics and functions. For example, epithelial tissue covers and lines the surfaces of the body, connective tissue provides support and connects different parts of the body, muscle tissue allows movement of the body and internal organs, and nervous tissue allows communication and coordination between different parts of the body. Tissues work together to form organs, which is the next level of organization in the body. Organ level, tissues that work together to perform a specific function form organs. The organ level is the next level of organization in the human body, where tissues that work together to perform a specific function form organs. Organs are complex structures that have specific functions and are made up of two or more types of tissues. For example, the heart is an organ made up of muscle tissue, nervous tissue, and connective tissue. Its function is to pump blood throughout the body. Another example is the liver, which is an organ made up of epithelial tissue, connective tissue, and blood vessels. Its function is to produce bile, which helps in the digestion of fats, and to detoxify harmful substances in the body. Organs work together to form organ systems, which is the next level of organization in the body. Organ system level, organs that work together to perform a specific function form organ systems. The organ system level is the next level of organization in the human body, where organs that work together to perform a specific function form organ systems. There are 11 major organ systems in the human body, each with a specific function. Organismal level, all of the organ systems work together to form an organism. The organismal level is the highest level of organization in the human body, where all of the organ systems work together to form an organism. An organism is a complete living entity, capable of carrying out all the necessary functions of life. In humans, the organ systems work together to maintain homeostasis and keep the body functioning properly. Any disruption or failure of one organ system can affect the function of other organ systems, leading to illness or disease. The organismal level is where the functions of the body come together to support survival and reproduction, and where the unique characteristics of each individual are expressed. There are four primary types of tissues in the human body. There are four primary types of tissues in the human body. Epithelial tissue covers and lines the surfaces of the body, including the skin and the lining of the digestive tract. Connective tissue provides support and connects different parts of the body. Includes bone, cartilage, and blood. Muscle tissue allows movement of the body and internal organs. Includes skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscle. Nervous tissue allows communication and coordination between different parts of the body. Includes the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. The human body has several cavities that protect and house organs. Cranial cavity contains the brain. The cranial cavity is a body cavity that is located within the skull, and it contains the brain. The cranial cavity is a relatively small but highly important cavity that is protected by the bones of the skull, which provide a barrier against external injury. The brain is an essential organ that is responsible for controlling many of the body's functions, including movement, sensation, thought, and emotion. The cranial cavity is also home to several important blood vessels and nerves that supply the brain with oxygen, nutrients, and information. Thoracic cavity contains the lungs, heart, and other organs. The thoracic cavity is a body cavity that is located within the chest, and it contains several important organs including the lungs, heart, and other structures such as the esophagus, trachea, and major blood vessels. The thoracic cavity is enclosed by the rib cage, which provides protection for the organs within. The lungs are responsible for exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide with the environment, while the heart pumps blood throughout the body, supplying oxygen and nutrients to the tissues. The thoracic cavity is separated from the abdominal cavity below by a thin sheet of muscle called the diaphragm. The thoracic cavity is an essential part of the body and is responsible for many of the body's vital functions. Abdominal cavity contains the stomach, liver, intestines, and other organs. The abdominal cavity is a body cavity that is located below the diaphragm and above the pelvic cavity. It contains several important organs including the stomach, liver, intestines, pancreas, spleen, and kidneys, as well as major blood vessels and nerves. The abdominal cavity is protected by the abdominal muscles and is lined by a membrane called the peritoneum, which helps to hold the organs in place and lubricates them to allow for movement. The organs within the abdominal cavity are responsible for digestion, absorption of nutrients, and elimination of waste products. The abdominal cavity is an essential part of the body and is responsible for maintaining many of the body's vital functions. Pelvic cavity contains the reproductive organs and bladder. The pelvic cavity is a body cavity that is located below the abdominal cavity, and it contains several important organs including the reproductive organs, such as the uterus and ovaries in females, and the prostate gland and testes in males, and the bladder. The pelvic cavity is surrounded by the bones of the pelvis, which provide support and protection for the organs within. The pelvic cavity is an essential part of the body and is responsible for many important functions such as reproduction and elimination of waste products. These cavities are lined with membranes that secrete fluids to reduce friction between organs as they move.